right now. They are desperately attempting to break through the noise of this world to reach you. They have been sent on an urgent mission directly from the throne room of heaven with a message meant only for your ears, your heart, your spirit. This is their last attempt to reach you after many failed efforts, their final chance to deliver what they were commanded to share. You must open your heart immediately, you must quiet your mind, you must pay attention to what they are about to reveal. The veil between worlds has thinned for this moment alone, allowing their voices to reach you before it's too late. These angels have been assigned specifically to you, chosen by name, to bring you this critical message that cannot wait another day, another hour. 3 times before they have tried to warn you through dreams, through sudden thoughts, through unexplainable feelings, but the distractions of life drowned out their voices. The heavenly realm is holding its breath, waiting to see if this final attempt will break through, if you will finally recognize the supernatural intervention taking place in your life right now. If this message is ignored, if this warning goes unheeded, there will not be another chance. The window is closing rapidly with each passing moment. These messengers have risked much to reach you, have fought through darkness to arrive at this very second when your eyes would see these words. Like this video immediately if you sense the presence of these angels, if you feel the weight of their warning pressing upon your spirit. The messengers are watching, waiting, hoping that you will acknowledge them, that you will signal your willingness to receive. Heaven is counting each response, marking those who are awake enough to recognize when angelic beings are trying desperately to communicate. The first angel stands tall and solemn, a warrior of the highest order, bearing scars from battles fought in realms you cannot see. His wings span wider than you can imagine, edges gleaming with holy fire, his eyes holding the light of 1,000 stars that have witnessed the birth and death of nations. The second angel radiates compassion, her countenance gentle yet resolute, her presence carrying both comfort and urgent concern for what lies ahead of you. Her hands bear the marks of countless prayers carried from earth to heaven, her voice holds the power to part the veil between worlds. These two were specifically selected from among the heavenly host for their unique abilities to break through spiritual blindness, to awaken those who have grown deaf to heaven's voice. They stand before you now, though your physical eyes cannot perceive them, your spirit knows they are here. Type Amen right now if you acknowledge the presence of these heavenly messengers, if you sense them standing in this very room with you. Your acknowledgement strengthens the connection, allows their voices to grow clearer, their message to come through stronger. Heaven waits for your response before the fullness of their warning can be delivered to you. The first angel speaks of dangers approaching unseen by human eyes, threats gathering in the shadows that surround your daily life. There is a battle raging for your attention, for your energy, for your future, and you have been unaware of how targeted these attacks have become. The enemy has marked you specifically, has studied your movements, your weaknesses, your moments of vulnerability when your guard is lowered. Signs have been placed in your path, warnings have been whispered to your spirit, sudden hesitations that came upon you for no apparent reason. These were not coincidences, not random thoughts, but divine interventions, attempts to alert you to the encroaching darkness. You have dismissed these signs, attributed them to stress, to imagination, to coincidence, but they were the angel trying desperately to warn you. Time is shortening, the window for protection is narrowing. You must recognize what has been happening in the spiritual realm around your life. Your relationships are under attack, subtle divisions being created through misunderstandings, through words taken wrong, through unexplained tension. Your health faces unseen threats, not just physical ailments but weariness of spirit, heaviness of mind, fog that prevents clear thinking and decision-making. Your purpose is being undermined through distraction, through confusion, through the dulling of passion that once burned brightly within you. Action must be taken within days, not weeks. The spiritual attacks are intensifying, gathering momentum with each silent victory, each uncontested advance. If this warning continues to go unheeded, the path back will grow steeper, the journey to restoration more difficult, the damage more lasting. The first angel has fought through darkness, has sustained wounds on your behalf, has been relentless in trying to reach you before these plans fully manifest. Hear this plea now, recognize the battle taking place, stop dismissing what your spirit has been trying to tell you for months, now listen with more than your ears. Type 777 immediately if you hear the first angel's warning, if you recognize the truth in these words, if you sense the urgency behind this message. Your acknowledgement creates a shield, a first line of defense against what has been planned against you in the spiritual realm. Heaven waits for your response before releasing the next level of protection, before activating the full measure of intervention that stands ready. The angels will not force their help upon you, they require your willing acceptance, your conscious choice. The second angel now steps forward, her presence bringing revelation of blessings that have been blocked, divine gifts held back by the very attacks the first angel described. Heavenly provisions meant specifically for you have been waiting for release, financial breakthroughs, relational healing, spiritual awakenings, divine connections. These blessings have been held in the storehouses of heaven, marked with your name, set aside for this season of your life, but unable to break through the barriers. This precise moment represents a divine convergence, a time when heavenly timing, earthly readiness, and spiritual receptivity all align, creating an opportunity that rarely comes. The second angel has been entrusted with keys that unlock these storehouses, has been given authority to release what has been reserved for you. But these blessings cannot flow to someone who remains unaware of the battles, someone whose spiritual eyes remain closed, someone who dismisses the supernatural as imagination. The time of preparation is over, the moment of release has arrived. To receive what heaven wants to release, you must first acknowledge the warfare, then position yourself in gratitude and expectancy despite what you can currently see. Step away from distractions for 3 days, create space for divine communication, limit the noise that drowns heavenly voices, be intentional about listening. Write down what comes to your spirit, sudden thoughts, unexpected directions, ideas that seem to arrive fully formed. These are angelic communications breaking through. The second angel commits to amplifying these messages, to making them clearer, to guiding your steps, if only you will pay attention, if only you will respond. Your spiritual positioning is critical in this moment: humility, openness, willingness to change direction when instructed, courage to step into the unknown when guided. The angel's hands remain outstretched, holding gifts, waiting for you to create the space to receive, waiting for you to quiet yourself enough to hear the specific instructions. Heaven does not force its blessings upon the distracted or the doubting, but pours abundantly upon those who position themselves to receive. Type 1 here you to acknowledge the second angel's message, to declare your readiness to receive the specific instructions being offered to you. Your response breaks open channels of communication that have been blocked, creates pathways for blessing that have been obstructed. The angel waits with hands extended, bearing gifts that can only be transferred to those who consciously choose to receive, who actively participate in this divine exchange. The presence of 2 angels instead of 1 signals the extraordinary nature of this warning, the critical importance of this moment in your journey. In the hierarchy of heaven, dual messengers are only dispatched when the situation demands immediate attention, when both protection and provision must be activated simultaneously. Such direct heavenly intervention happens perhaps once in a lifetime for most souls, a sacred intersection of divine timing and human readiness. This convergence will not repeat itself. The messengers will not return with the same warning. The window of opportunity stands open now, but will soon close. The spiritual realm operates according to divine timing, seasons of open heaven, moments when the veil thins enough for breakthrough. These cannot be manufactured or manipulated. What stands before you is rare, is precious, is timed perfectly for this exact moment in your life when both danger and destiny have reached critical points simultaneously. Type 333 if you are standing in faith, if you recognize the significance of this dual angelic visitation, if you commit to responding with appropriate urgency. Your declaration becomes a beacon in the spiritual realm, signaling to both angels that their mission has not been in vain, that their warning has found fertile ground. Heaven takes note when humans acknowledge supernatural intervention, when they position themselves to receive, when they stand ready for divine guidance. Those who dismiss angelic warnings find themselves walking unprotected into situations that could have been avoided, facing challenges without the strength that heaven would have provided. Spiritual deafness leads to missed divine appointments, to connections never made, to doors never opened, to protection never activated when most needed. The heavenly windows that have opened specifically for you will close if left unacknowledged. The messengers will retreat, the opportunity will pass, the moment will be lost. This particular warning carries greater weight than previous interventions, as it addresses converging threats and opportunities that will fundamentally alter your path. The angels can see what you cannot, the broader implications, the long-term consequences, the spiritual dominoes that will fall in either direction based on your response. Ignoring clear warnings results in wondering why heaven seems silent in later moments of need, and not recognizing that the help was offered but declined, the guidance extended but refused. Those who walk past angelic messengers often spend years trying to recover what could have been prevented in a moment of attentiveness. When angelic warnings are acknowledged, spiritual protection activates immediately, creating a shield around your life, your home, your loved ones, your purpose. Blessings that have been held back begin to flow as the barriers are removed, as the blockages are cleared, as the channels are opened between heaven and earth. The angel's assignment extends beyond this moment of warning into continued assistance, guidance, protection. Their attention remains fixed on your journey, their resources deployed on your behalf. Heaven recognizes spiritual responsiveness, celebrates when humans acknowledge divine intervention, takes note of those who position themselves under heavenly covering. Your spiritual perception sharpens. After acknowledging angelic presence, you begin to recognize subtle communications, divine nudges, heaven-sent opportunities that previously went unnoticed. Doors that seemed permanently locked suddenly swing open, paths that appeared blocked suddenly clear, resources that seemed depleted suddenly renew. What changes in a moment of angelic intervention often creates ripple effects through years, through generations, through destinies connected to yours. Type 1. Stand ready to position yourself for divine protection, to align yourself with heaven's purposes, to place yourself under angelic covering. Your declaration is not merely words on a screen, but a spiritual positioning, a conscious choice to step under authority that exists beyond the material realm. The seriousness of this situation demands clear response, definitive action, unmistakable commitment to heeding the warning that has been so urgently delivered. The angels now unite their voices in urgent appeal, their message carrying the weight of heaven's concern for your specific situation, your particular journey, your unique calling. They have fought through layers of darkness to reach you, have encountered resistance from forces that do not want you warned, that prefer you unaware, unprotected, unprepared. The battle to deliver this message has been fierce, has required heavenly reinforcements, has demanded persistence beyond what most messengers would give. Their investment in your spiritual well-being comes from knowledge of your purpose, your potential, your place in heaven's larger plans, the impact you were created to have. They have witnessed your struggles, your questions, your moments of doubt, your seasons of weariness, but also your faith, your resilience, your heart for truth. This is why they did not give up when previous attempts to reach you failed, why they sought permission for this final direct intervention, why they stand before you now with such urgency. They see what you cannot, the importance of this specific moment in your timeline, the consequences of choices made now. The angels can see what approaches on your horizon, challenges that would overwhelm you without preparation, opportunities that would be missed without awareness, divine connections that would never form without intervention. They have been fighting battles on your behalf that you know nothing about, have been holding back forces that would have already derailed you, destroyed what you have built, undermined your purpose. Yet despite their efforts they cannot intervene further without your permission, cannot act beyond certain boundaries without your conscious invitation, cannot override the free will that humans have been granted. This is the source of their desperation, their urgent pleading, their repeated attempts to break through your awareness to help you see what is really happening around you. They stand before you now with hands extended, with warnings clear, with guidance ready, but cannot force you to hear, cannot make you respond, cannot choose for you. The decision to acknowledge their presence, to heed their warning, to follow their guidance remains entirely yours, a choice with consequences that extend far beyond this moment. Heaven waits, holding its breath, as you stand at this crossroads of destiny and decision. Type 1. Give permission to authorize angelic intervention in your life, to open the door for heavenly assistance, to invite divine guidance into your situation. Your words become spiritual authorization, a consent that allows the angels to move more directly in your circumstances, to take actions previously restricted. The messengers have been waiting for this specific invitation, have been hoping you would recognize the significance of their presence, have been standing ready to act on your behalf. With your acknowledgement, the angels now commit to establishing immediate protection around you, a spiritual perimeter that dark forces cannot easily penetrate. They will station themselves as guardians, watching over your coming and going, your sleeping and waking, your decisions and interactions, creating space for divine guidance to be heard clearly. Spiritual forces will be activated on your behalf, heavenly resources deployed to counter what has been arranged against you, to dismantle traps that have been set. Additional assistance will be summoned, specific angelic help suited to your unique situation, reinforcements that specialize in the particular challenges you face. The atmosphere around you will begin to shift subtly at first, then more noticeably as heaviness lifts, as clarity returns, as peace establishes itself in places where anxiety once ruled. Dreams will become clearer, thoughts will align more readily with truth, discernment will sharpen, allowing you to recognize both danger and opportunity more easily. What begins as small shifts will grow into unmistakable change. Beyond immediate intervention, the angels promise continued presence, not just for this moment of crisis, but for the journey ahead, the unfolding of what comes next. Your spiritual perception will strengthen over time, allowing you to recognize heavenly guidance more readily, to discern angelic presence more accurately, to hear divine direction more clearly. They will communicate through various means, through thoughts that arrive fully formed, through dreams that feel different from normal sleep, through encounters with strangers who speak exactly what you need to hear. The partnership they seek to establish extends beyond this warning into ongoing protection, guidance, revelation, a relationship between heaven and earth that flows in both directions. As you learn to recognize their presence, to acknowledge their guidance, to act on their warnings, the connection strengthens, the communication clarifies, the protection deepens. What begins today as emergency intervention can develop into sustained divine partnership, your spiritual senses awakening to a realm that has always existed alongside your own. This is the deeper purpose behind their urgent warning. Type: angels guide me to establish ongoing communication with your heavenly messengers, to open channels that will remain accessible beyond this moment. Request their continued presence, their watchful protection, their gentle nudging when you begin to drift from the path that leads to your highest purpose. Commit to developing your spiritual awareness, to paying attention to subtle guidance, to remaining open to heavenly direction even after this urgent warning has passed. As you acknowledge the angels' presence, as you heed their warning, the entire angelic realm takes notice. Celebration begins in heavenly places for another soul awakened to spiritual reality. Resources previously held in reserve are now directed toward you. Specific blessings assigned to your name, particular gifts meant for your journey, are released into motion. The spiritual atmosphere around you begins to shift, like light breaking through clouds, like fresh air entering a stuffy room, like weight lifting from tired shoulders. Angels who specialize in breakthrough, in restoration, in healing, in provision now turn their attention toward your situation, their abilities focused on your specific needs. What was blocked begins to flow, what was hidden begins to reveal, what was confused begins to clarify as heavenly intervention gains momentum in your life. Spiritual battles that were being lost are now reinforced. Battles that seemed impossible now have heavenly strategy. Battles that felt overwhelming now have divine assistance. Heaven responds to human acknowledgement with increased presence, increased provision, increased protection. The angels now speak with united voice. Stand firm in what you have heard. Do not return to spiritual sleepwalking. Do not allow doubt to erase what has been revealed. Type: victory is mine, to claim the angelic protection that has been offered, to declare your position under heavenly covering, to announce your acceptance of divine assistance. Your declaration becomes a spiritual anchor holding you steady when doubts return, when the memory of this warning begins to fade, when the world attempts to convince you it was merely imagination. Establish your commitment to spiritual vigilance, to remaining alert to heavenly guidance, to walking in awareness of the unseen realm. The angels' urgent message has been delivered. Their warning has penetrated the veil between worlds, has reached your consciousness, has found space in your awareness. Your response has been acknowledged in heavenly places, has been recorded, has set forces in motion that cannot easily be reversed, has activated protection that now surrounds you. The mission that brought these two messengers to you has been fulfilled. Their urgent assignment completed, their desperate attempts to warn you finally successful. Protection has been established, blessing has been released, guidance has been initiated, the path forward has been illuminated, even if just enough for the next step. The angels begin to step back, their urgent pleading now replaced with watchful guidance, their desperate warnings transformed into ongoing presence. They will remain near, watching, guiding, protecting as you navigate what comes next, as you walk the path that has been preserved through this divine intervention. It is done.